What will it take for these protests to be diminished and for those demonstrating to back off their demands?
It will take a lot. I mean, the protesters have made a tall list of three demands. They want the Prime Minister to resign. That's going to be difficult. They want a new constitution to reset and remake Thailand's democracy into a genuine democratic system. And related to it, the third demand is to reform the monarchy. You know, in the past, the monarchy has been a taboo subject. Many people don't talk about it in Thailand and abroad, but now it's front and center of these demands. So it's very tall order, but unless something gives, unless some concession is made, the protesters are going to come back and back. So the situation now, to me, looks untenable. Something will have to give.
Yes, and as you say, I mean, the call for the reform of the monarchy is somewhat of a departure from what we've seen during episodes of previous political unrest. And I just wonder, out of those three key demands that the protesters have put forward, which one do you think is most likely to make some ground on in terms of anywhere that we will get some movement?
Well, the most compelling and pragmatic, workable demand that can be met would be the resignation of the Prime Minister, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, who, by the way, seized power in 2014. He's been at the helm for 6 years now, Nancy, and the Thai economy has come to a standstill. It's early signs of stagnation. Thailand will suffer the worst economic contraction in Asia, in its neighborhood. So the government has been lackluster, mismanaging the economy, incompetent in governance, some kind of misrule really we've had. So that would be the easiest of the three demands, changing the government and letting the Prime Minister go. But then there'll be a big question about what comes after that. What kind of government and then what kind of constitutional reform and amendments can we have? And then going on to the reform of the monarchy. So these are three big, huge areas, but the most workable would be the resignation of the Prime Minister.
And what is the most feasible solution in terms of what or who comes next in that scenario?
Well, the protesters haven't spelled it out. These are, by the way, younger generation. We haven't seen these kinds of protesters before. They're out in the streets, even last night, in the face, in the defiance and determination, in the face of emergency decree. So, it was illegal. But many thousands of them were in the streets still, and they were going to come back today. So they look very determined to me. They're not going to go away until they see a new kind of Thailand. This is a future that they're reclaiming because Thailand's got no good future. That's why they've been protesting for months now. So the feasible scenario going forward is a very, daunting uphill task. It's not easy to change over. This is a fundamental remake of Thailand.